Welcome to the perpetual show. Where the loaves go, we've got flow. Oh yeah. Driving through the fields of green, oh so bright. With the loaf by your side, everything feels right. Loafing through the fields, feeling so alive. In our boxy Russian van, we're taking our stride. Past the fallen soldiers, a bittersweet sight. But we're cruising on this road tonight. Bouncing to the rhythm, calypso in our soul. The loaf's engine purring as our story unfolds. We're singing and we're dancing, the sun shining above. The loaf takes us places where we find love. Loafing through the fields, feeling so alive. In our boxy Russian van, we're taking our stride. Past the fallen soldiers, a bittersweet sight. But we're cruising on this road tonight. Bouncing to the rhythm, calypso in our soul. The love's engine purring as our story unfolds. We're singing and we're dancing, the sun shining above. The loaf takes us places where we find love.
Hello everybody. I do not have much time today, to be totally honest. In part because I worked until like 5 a.m. and then I went to sleep and I woke up at like 11:30. Now it's 3 and I'm still trying to catch up. I'm like way behind today. But anyways, so I don't have that much time. But there is some news and I did want to briefly touch on it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through it. We're just gonna go through the news. It's not really much else to talk about. So, the main piece that I wanted okay. So, uh, north of Kharkiv, it has seemingly stabilized. The last I know. I also want to state that the news today is as of when I went to sleep this morning, which was I don't know, like as of like 9 hours ago. Okay, so I don't really know much that's happened in the time since because I'm still catching up. But this northern part of Kharkiv it has seemingly stabilized for the most part. Near Lipsy, all of the problems that we talked about last time are still there and practically unchanged. There is this Ukrainian defensive position roughly right here. It's kind of the intersection of this tree line and this road, and that's seemingly um, not under threat from the Russians, or at least the Ukraine appears to hold it. This Dacha area, the Russians entered it, and then Ukraine kicked them out. And I don't really know much else of what's been going on there, frankly. We have some Russian shelling, um, north of Neskuchne, and this is a basically a known Ukrainian position. I don't know if Ukraine completely holds it or if it's a gray area. I have it marked as a gray area. This might be too conservative. Ukraine might actually completely just hold that position. But yeah, this in this Lipsy area, that's more or less, it's all more or less stable. We see lots of shelling and various sorts of strikes near Ternova and this greater area here, and then near Storitsia, we know that Russia had entered the town, but I don't think they captured it. I think they were repelled, or even if they did capture it, it doesn't really necessarily change anything because they don't appear to be expanding past that zone there. Um, in Vovchansk, I don't know of any particular changes. There's been fighting going on. We have some geolocated footage from the 82nd. The 82nd like rarely post videos. It's actually pretty interesting to see. And we see some engagements over on these kind of, I don't know, do you call this an outskirt? I don't know. It's just kind of the eastern part of the city there. So yeah, there's the short of it is that we don't really have many changes. So it all apparently is stabilized. We know that Russia appears to be pivoting east, trying to attack these areas these are like smaller towns to the east of the city, but even that we don't really see too much of an advance. Now, where we did see an advance, and this was very shocking to me and sad, is in Berestova. So this is the map for yesterday, and then or well 2 days ago, and then this is the map for yesterday, where we had this video came out. I don't think I even posted the footage, did I? We did post, but basically, this area is getting shelled right here. Ukraine is shelling it. So it appears that Russia has continued their advance into the town. I have no clue what's going on with this street here. We already knew Russia controlled this most northern street. Now we know that they are in this street here. It might be it might be too aggressive to say that they actually control this. I struggle to believe it's actually contested. Um, we know that Russia was in those houses. Let's just put it that way. So that is disappointing. We don't really know what's going on in Novoselivska. Uh, Berestova is obviously it seems to be about half captured, maybe even more at this point. And so yeah, this whole kind of area is kind of falling apart a little bit. I want you to recognize that this is not really the main defensive line for Ukraine. This is like the front line. You know, it's their most forward position. Their actual defensive line is more like back here. So losing these front towns is not that much of a disaster. Obviously, it's not good, but it's not like the end of the world. So so there's that. Yeah, I don't know of any particular changes anywhere else in this kind of Kupiansk area. Yesterday, we had some footage of just all all the losses in this Bilahorivka area. Most of these losses are old, so don't take them as all happening yesterday. But it just shows the chaos that's been going on here. And I also want to highlight that like this area, like right here, has a ton of losses in it. Like just astronomical. And here too. These areas have huge losses from Russia's various attacks. Some of them are logged or ready. Some of them we need to buy high-res satellite imagery, but no one ever tasks this area. And if you don't know anything about high-res imagery, in order for someone to buy an image, you have to basically tell the satellite to take an image. So that's called tasking. This area, it never gets tasked. I think it's been tasked maybe like 4 times in the past year, and several of those times were cloudy and you can't see anything. So there's like one usable image of this area in like the past year, and it's really depressing. So we're maybe one day someone will task and we'll buy it, and it won't be cloudy. Um, but yeah, this you can see the number of vehicles Russia is losing here. These are all like BMPs. There's some Ukrainian vehicles too. These are obviously old. The Ukrainian vehicles are, but many of these are old. In fact, some of them are not necessarily old. Like these here are probably relatively new. Uh, yeah, and this, by the way, this is not snow. This is chalk. This whole area is basically made of chalk, so it's not snow. A lot of people think it's snow. But, anyways, so that's that. We had some interesting shelling near Sperna. It was seemingly smoke shelling. It's like they're trying to smoke out the Ukrainians. Smoke is very bad for you. Depending on the type of smoke, it can do a lot of damage. Like white phosphorus, for example, can do tons and tons of damage. Uh, in in Chasiv Yar, um, this area here, these kind of dachas, I guess, Russia is moving in, and there might be a pretty significant map change here for today. Whenever I post today in like 12 hours or whatever. But right here, Russia is moving into this dacha area and seemingly capturing it. They may have captured this entire dacha area. So they're kind of trying to flank Canal. They've Some say that Russia has captured this forest in the south. I don't really buy that personally. It might all be a gray area. This area might be a gray area. This might be wrong. But anyways, we did see some Russian shelling there recently, but Ukraine may have left there. But this all seems to be a gray area. They kind of move up this tree line and then move north to attack, and then they also kind of come down this road here and try to attack. And now they're trying to go through these dachas in the north. So they're trying to surround Canal. Obviously, their goal is to squeeze Ukraine out of Canal, and then at that point, Russia will have to cross the canal. And this here, we talked in our last stream. This here is probably the most likely place that Russia can cross. A second option would be right here, which is basically a very similar position. It's really not much different between those two, kind of interchangeable. But of course, to cross here, they would have to capture Kalinivka first. So down here, they can just attack it. So anyway, these are the two most likely places Russia can cross. Crossing the canal itself is very difficult. Here, it's not really a canal, it's just pipes. So you can cross the pipes a little bit easier. We had all the images and whatnot of that in the last stream, so that's nothing new. But this is what we're probably going to see soon. We're probably going to see Ukraine leave Canal as it gets squeezed from the north, especially. They've done a good job defending from the south and the west, but this northern flank is harder to defend because it's close combat. When these defending the east and the south, Russia obviously has to cross these wide open fields in their vehicles, whereas in the north, this is just infantry. The infantry is just, moving down these forests, and there's no vehicles involved. It's hard to stop them. You have to actually fight the Russians, and Ukraine doesn't really have the resources to do that. They more have the resources to slow them down over time, and eventually they're going to get pushed over the canal. So that's what's happening there. There's also nothing really new. No new information. Klishivka, some people are still convinced that Russia captured Klishivka. I do not think so. We've had some video from Klishivka where I counted 4 Russians in the whole town. Do you count 4 Russians as a capture? I don't, especially because the vehicle that brought them in was almost destroyed. It was very badly damaged, almost destroyed. And yeah, I'm not. Basically, there's like a recon team in there. I don't count a recon team as a capture. This is I consider this a gray area, a no man's land. No one is willing to enter it. And by willing, I mean literally their orders are issued to go capture it, and people are saying, no, that's stupid. Okay, this southern area is also a no man's land. So really what Russia needs to do is go around Klishivka somehow. They've tried going north. They've tried going through Ivanivska. They've pushed vehicles out to roughly here in the past, but they've been beaten back. They can't cross these fields reliably. They can cross them, but they can't cross in enough numbers to hold anything. So that's been their problem. Probably at some point Ukraine will fall back, but is not today. So, moving on. The next piece of news. Oh, this is a map error. That's what's really fun. Maybe I'll fix that after your stream. Okay, so this is a map error. You can see the yellow is on top of the red, which is unintentional. We had this video of Russians advancing and capturing basically these three Russians, literally three of them. They ran up and captured a trench on the post. Basically, it was 3 versus 0. That's the fight. 3 versus 0. So they ran up, captured this trench. This is kind of a bit of a change. They may have pushed even further north. I'm not sure exactly how far north they've pushed, but that is a small relative change. We've also heard of, although we've not seen footage of, Ukrainian counterattacks in this general area east of Sokol. This might not actually be true. We've just kind of heard rumors of Ukrainian counterattacks here, south of Ochrytne. So, I guess we'll wait to see if there's any actual video to back that up, to back up these rumors. Beyond that, I don't really have much news of anywhere. Krasnohorivka continues to be a struggle. In my opinion, Ukraine will slowly abandon the city. They've lost all of the defensible positions. Everywhere else is really not defensible, to be honest. There are some of these high-rise buildings that Ukraine may still contest. I'm not 100% sure. Like maybe these high-rises, maybe these high-rises, but these houses are basically indefensible. Anyways, I have a question in the chat that I don't actually understand. uh, can't you buy high quality aerial footage from drone reconnaissance? I understand. I don't think so. They post it sometimes. Sometimes we get access to that footage. Honestly, those drone footage is really valuable when you get your hands on it, but it's not like reliable. It's not like an everyday thing. Um, so yeah, this is pretty much all the news that I got. See, this is a relatively slow news day. We have some fighting near Staromayorska. This is all stuff that we've already known. I this posting this map that flag thing was an error that I need to fix. 'Cause it's from a few days ago and we just put it there by accident, honestly. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Um, there's weird news from Crinky, but we'll hold off on that. That's pretty much it. Those are all the news, the biggest newsies that I have to talk about. Um, yeah, one brief thing that I can say is that Russia pushed through Crinky, trying to clear it, and as they pushed through, they failed and pulled out. So that's one thing I can say about Crinky. So yeah, this is a short stream, and that's I honestly have to get back to work because we have a lot of work to do today. There is one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and it is Konstantin's fundraiser, because his fundraiser is getting pretty close to finished, but it is not finished yet. We've talked about this fundraiser a bunch of times. This fundraiser, he split the fundraiser into two things, but honestly, the money is all going to the same place. So I'll just describe everything they're doing. Um, so one thing they're doing is building lancet armor on Bogdanas to protect against lancets. So that's Bogdana armor, and then they're getting excavators and spare parts for excavators, all of the things to keep the excavators running without needing to send the excavator out for repair. So they want to have an excavator all the spare parts and all of the tools to keep the excavator going. You know, maybe sometimes you might have to send it back to your workshop and work on it for a day or two, but they don't want to like have to send it out for weeks and not have an excavator for weeks at a time. So they want those spare parts and the tools, and obviously they want a few excavators. So that is what most of this money is going towards, I believe. And then there's a few other things I can't remember. But overall,
Thank you, Andrew.
yeah. Hi, Constantine.
Um,
Would you like to
yes,
say
and I
anything
have
else?
a small update on that.
An update?
I actually already purchased 4 excavators.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure they could hear you.
Okay. So we actually purchased 4 excavators already in Germany. We already paid for them, even though fundraiser is not over yet. But we did it, and we're waiting for the documents so we can do the customs clearance and export it. So hopefully next 2 weeks the excavator is going to arrive to Ukraine, and we already have 2 excavators that we're repairing right now in Ukraine as well. Those will go to the 47th and the 47th Bahdana Artillery Brigade, and to the 92nd Assault Brigade. And yeah, we need spare parts to repair them. It's a bit tedious process to get them. They cost a lot of money, but that's the excavator. That's how this machinery operates. So we'll have total park that we have transferred of actually 8 excavators. And with this number, we already need to have like a small warehouse with the parts and the tools, so we can maintain them and take this responsibility from the brigades. And thank you for bringing this up. I just wanted to talk about it and make sure that you're up to date. Thank you.
Thank you. So the excavators are coming eventually. Right. So that's kind of all I had to talk about. Is there anything else you'd like to briefly mention, Constantine?
Yes. I don't know. I don't know if you went through the map or what because I joined late. I just noticed that you're running the stream, but I know that today there was a small success in north of Kharkiv, not Vovchansk, but around Streleche. Our forces moved a bit to the east, and they moved a bit to the north and pushed out Russians from some of their positions.
That's good.
So I think that's good news.
That's good. It's very vague too. I have no idea where you're talking about. Okay.
Well, we don't have the map, and I don't know exact details as well.
Yeah.
I was just told that it happened today, and they were excited that they managed to do this. It's not much, but
it is. I mean, it's good.
It's coming from the people who I trust very much.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is good because part of stabilizing the line is having these sort of successful counterattacks. Even if you don't capture anything, just clearing out the Russians to make a buffer, makes it harder for them to continue advancing. So it's any sort of small counterattack is very good. It's good news.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the stream. I got to get back to work because we have a lot of work to do today, and I'm very behind. I just wanted to do a very short stream today. So thank you everybody who came, and thank you for the well wishes, etc.
Yes, thank you for having me as well.
Yes, thank you for coming. All right. Oh, by the way, the link to the fundraiser is in the description of the video. All right. So goodbye.
Bye.